Eosinophilic disorders of the gastrointestinal tract. Mark E. Rothenberg, vid. Hyakunathur 30. Eosinophilic GI disorders, EGIDs, are defined by selective eosinophil-rich inflammation along the GI tract in the absence of known causes for eosinophilia, e.g., drug reactions, parasitic infections, malignancy, and in association with GI-related symptoms. EGIDs include a spectrum of conditions, named by the anatomic location of the associated eosinophil infiltration: eosinophilic esophagitis, EOE, eosinophilic gastritis, e.g., eosinophilic enteritis, and eosinophilic colitis, EC. We reserve the term eosinophilic gastroenteritis for when more than one segment of the GI tract is involved. An increasing body of evidence indicates that eosinophils have a key role in the pathogenesis of a number of GI diseases. Our understanding of gut eosinophil pathophysiology primarily arises from the more prevalent and studied entity of EOE, for which there is also an accepted consensus regarding to clinical diagnosis and management. Accumulating data support the concept that EGIDs arise from the interplay between genetic, higher prevalence in families 1,2 and EOE genetic risk factors including common single nucleotide polymorphisms 3, and rare damaging variants 4, environmental, e.g., diet 5-7, and host immune system factors. The immune system signature of EGIDs falls between immunoglobulin E, IgE, mediated and delayed T helper type 2, Th2, responses. 811 studies have identified contributory roles for allergens 5-7 cytokines, e.g., interleukin IL-5, IL-13, MICR ornas, e.g., miR-21, 12 chemokines, e.g., eotaxins 12, polarization of Th2 immunity, e.g., thymic stromal lymphopoietin TSLP, 12 loss of barrier function 13 and a protease/protease inhibitor imbalance, favoring protease activation in the disease. Pathophysiology. 14 These factors can hence serve as potential future disease biomarkers as well as therapeutic targets for EGID. Eosinophil biology and potential diagnostic and therapeutic targets. Eosinophils contain a full complement of mediators, cytokines and chemokines, necessary to regulate both innate and adaptive immune responses. They can function as antigen-presenting cells, and they express Th2 cytokines, IL-4, IL-5, IL-13, Th1 cytokines, interferon gamma, pro-inflammatory cytokines, TNF, IL-6, and IL-8, and inhibitory cytokines, transforming growth factor TGF-beta and IL-10, as well as receptors for many of these cytokines. 15 Eosinophils are produced in the bone marrow from pluripotent stem cells under the regulation of the transcription factor globin transcription factor 116. The cytokines IL-3, IL-5, and granulocyte macrophage colony stimulating factor. 17 Eosinophils contain specialized secondary granules whose protein content is toxic to a variety of tissues, including intestinal epithelium. 18 Eosinophil granules contain a crystalloid core composed of major basic protein, MBP, 1 and MBP 2 and a matrix composed of eosinophil cationic protein, ECP, eosinophil-derived neurotoxin, and eosinophil peroxidase. 19 Clinical investigations have demonstrated extracellular deposition of MBP and ECP in the small bowel of patients with eosinophilic gastroenteritis. 2024 Circulating levels of eosinophil-derived neurotoxin are also elevated in patients with EOE and can distinguish patients with active and inactive disease. 25 IL-5 is the most specific to the eosinophil lineage and is responsible for the selective differentiation of eosinophils. 26 Their release from the bone marrow into the peripheral circulation. 27 And their survival. 28 Studies in mice have implicated that the level of IL-5 expression positively correlates with blood eosinophilia, with reduced IL-5 levels causing a marked reduction of eosinophils in the blood, lungs, and GI tract after allergen challenge. 29-32 These results have led to development of IL-5 modulators such as reslizumab and mepolizumab. 33-34 Reslizumab, a neutralizing antibody against IL-5, significantly reduced intraepithelial esophageal eosinophil counts in children and adolescents with EOE in a double-blind, randomized, placebo Controlled trial. 34 However, improvements in symptoms were observed in all treatment groups and were not associated with changes in esophageal eosinophil counts. 34 These two anti-IL-5 drugs, as well as an eosinophil depleting monoclonal antibody directed against the IL-5 receptor, are now FDA approved for eosinophilic asthma and are likely to have additional applications. 35 These results also may suggest the importance of other molecules involved in the tissue eosinophil related inflammatory changes that are characteristic of EoE pathogenesis. Indeed, other products of Th2 cells, e.g., IL-4, IL-13, can affect eosinophils. 36 IL-4 and IL-13 induce indirect eosinophil recruitment and survival via several cooperative mechanisms. They mediate their function by inducing endothelial expression of critical adhesion molecules that bind to the beta-1 and beta-2 integrins on eosinophils, e.g., intercellular adhesion molecule 1, vascular cell adhesion molecule 1, as well as of eosinophil active chemokines, e.g., eotaxins, and other molecules that influence eosinophils, e.g., chitinases. 36-37 IL-4 and IL-13 signal through a common receptor subunit IL-4R alpha that utilizes the Janus kinase / signal transducer and activator of transcription, STAT6 pathway. 38 and eosinophils express the predominant IL-4 receptor composed of IL-4R alpha and the common gamma chain. Mice with targeted deletion of STAT6 have impaired development of Th2-associated responses in the GI tract. 39-40 In addition, activated STAT6 dimers bind to specific promoter motifs located in a series of inflammatory genes, such as the eotaxin 1, eotaxin 2, and eotaxin 3 promoters. 41-45 Indeed, IL-13 was found in several studies to have a positive correlation with disease activity in esophageal tissue and with IL-5 and eotaxin 3 messenger RNA expression. 46 In addition, IL-13 overexpression in mice induces EoE-like changes, including an esophageal transcriptome that partly overlaps with the EoE transcriptome. 47 Early clinical trials with anti-IL-13, as well as anti-IL-4 receptor antibodies, have demonstrated reduction in 30 esophageal eosinophilia and improvement of histology, endoscopic, and clinical symptoms. Further studies will hopefully establish the positioning of these mechanism-based therapies for EoE and likely other EGIDs. 48-49 Eosinophil localization to the lamina propria in the GI tract is regulated by eotaxins, chemokines constitutively expressed throughout the GI tract. 50 The eotaxin receptor, chemokine, CC motif, receptor, CCR3, is primarily expressed on eosinophils. 51 Among the three eotaxins, eotaxin 3 has been shown to have the strongest correlation with EoE pathogenesis. 52 Analysis of 288 esophageal biopsies revealed that eotaxin 3 messenger RNA level alone had 89% sensitivity for distinguishing individuals with and without EoE. 46 Collectively, these studies suggest that IL-5, IL-13, and eotaxin 3 can potentially serve as surrogate markers for diagnosis and disease activity. In addition, these studies have provided the impetus for the development of therapeutic agents aimed at blocking the action of eotaxins and/or CCR3. Indeed, small molecule inhibitors of CCR3 and a humanized anti-human eotaxin 1 antibody have been developed. 36-53-54 Results with a phase I trial of humanized anti-eotaxin 1 in patients with allergic rhinitis have shown no serious adverse responses when this drug is administered by intravenous or intranasal routes. 53-55 Notably, anti-eotaxin 1 lowers levels of eosinophils in nasal washes and nasal biopsies and improves nasal patency. 53-55 Anti-eotaxin 1 may be particularly helpful for patients with eosinophil dominant asthma and/or severe asthma in which eotaxin 1 is preferentially increased, but this has not yet been tested clinically. 56 In addition, anti-eotaxin 1 may have a benefit in other GI disorders characterized by eosinophilia such as IBD. 57 However, important lessons from the anti-IL-5 antibody clinical trials suggest that researchers should focus on both histologic and clinical endpoints and target patients with higher eosinophil and eotaxin 1 levels. The EOE Diagnostic Panel, EDP, has been introduced more recently, Table 30.1. The EDP is a set of 96 genes discretely expressed in the esophagus of EOE patients, with a 96% sensitivity and 98% specificity in pinpointing EOE in adult and pediatric patients, in addition to identifying those patients with swallowed glucocorticoid exposure. The EDP is also helpful as a predictive tool in patients with subclinical histology, 15 eosinophils/high power field HPF. 0.58 Gastrointestinal eosinophils. In healthy states, eosinophils have been noted to be present at low levels in numerous tissues and at substantial levels in the GI tract, spleen, lymph nodes, thymus, and adipose tissue in healthy states. 0.59,60 Interestingly, eosinophil infiltration was associated with eosinophil degranulation only in the GI tract. However, it was previously suggested that morphologic degranulation may be normally observed in the GI tract and perhaps related to tissue processing. 0.59,60 In the healthy pediatric GI tract, eosinophil levels progressively increase from the proximal to the distal intestine. 61 With the esophagus normally being devoid of eosinophils, Table 30.2 lists the level of eosinophils in the GI tract of apparently normal endoscopic biopsies. In the GI tract of conventional healthy mice, i.e., untreated, wild-type mice maintained under pathogen-free conditions, eosinophils are normally present in the lamina propria of the stomach, small intestine, cecum, and colon-62 and are not normally present in Peyer's patches or intraepithelial locations, although they commonly infiltrate these regions in murine models of EGIDs. 0.63 Interestingly, fetal mice have eosinophils located in similar regions and in similar concentrations to adult mice. 62 Providing evidence that eosinophil homing into the GI. Table 30.1 Eosinophilic esophagitis diagnostic panel. 6 major categories with 5 representative genes in each category: cell adhesion, epithelial inflammation, remodeling, eosinophils/mast cells, chemokines/cytokines, CDH26, FLG, TUNFAP6, post-UN, CLC, CCL26, DSG1, UPK1A, ALOX15, KRT23, CCR3, CXCL1, CLDN10, SPINK7, ARG1, COL8A2, TPSB2/AB1, IL14, 1 CRISP3, MP12, CTSC, CPA3, IL5, CHL1, MUC4, IgJ, ACTG2, CMA1, IL13 modified from Rothenberg Me, Stuck M. Grotjan trademark, ETAL molecular diagnosis of eosinophilic esophagitis by gene expression profiling. Gastroenterology 2013, 145, 6128999. Table 30.2 Gastrointestinal eosinophil levels in normal pediatric endoscopic mucosal biopsy specimens. GI segment, lamina propria, villus, lamina propria, surface epithelium, crypt/glandular epithelium, mean max, mean max, mean max, mean max, esophagus, n/a/n/a/n/a/n/a 0.03 plus or minus 0.101, n/a/n/a antrum 1.9 plus or minus 1.38, n/a/n/a 0.02 plus or minus 0.041, fundus 2.1 plus or minus 2.411, n/a/n/a 0.008 plus or minus 0.031, duodenum 9.6 plus or minus 5.326, 2.1 plus or minus 1.49, 0.06 plus or minus 0.092, 0.26 plus or minus 0.366, ileum 12.4 plus or minus 5.428, 4.8 plus or minus 2.8, 15, 0.47 plus or minus 0.254, 0.80 plus or minus 0.514, ascending colon 20.3 plus or minus 8.250, n/a/a 0.29 plus or minus 0.253, 1.4 plus or minus 1.211, transverse colon 16.3 plus or minus 5.642, n/a/a 0.22 plus or minus 0.394, 0.77 plus or minus 0.614, rectum 8.3 plus or minus 5.932, P2N/AN/A 0.15 plus or minus 0.13 to 1.2 plus or minus 1.19. The mean number of eosinophils/HPF plus or minus the standard deviation of the mean for the indicated anatomic region of the GI tract and region of the mucosa. HPF, high power field, max, maximum, N/A, not applicable. Reproduced from DeBras CW, Case JW, Putnam PE, ETAL quantity and distribution of eosinophils in the gastrointestinal tract of children. Pediatra Dev Pathol 2006, 9:210-8. 426 Part 4 Topics involving multiple organs. Tract occurs independent of endogenous flora. Tissue-dwelling eosinophils have distinct cytokine expression patterns under inflammatory or non-inflammatory conditions, with esophageal eosinophils from patients with EoE expressing relatively high levels of Th2 cytokines. 64,65 Eosinophil-associated gastrointestinal disorders. Eosinophil accumulation in the GI tract is a common feature of numerous GI disorders, including classic IgE-mediated food allergy. 11,66,67 Eosinophilic gastroenteritis. 23,68 Allergic colitis. 69,71 EoE. 72,74 IBD. 24,75,76, and GERD. 77,79, Table 30.3. In IBD, eosinophils usually represent only a small percentage of the infiltrating leukocytes. 76,80 but their level has been proposed to be a negative prognostic indicator. 80,81 Similarly, in GERD, there are typically only low levels of esophageal eosinophils. 77,82 but the entity of PPI-responsive esophageal eosinophilia, PPI-RE, has been described. 83 PPI-RE has overlapping endoscopic, genetic, and histologic features with EoE and is now considered part of the same disease spectrum. 84. 85 EGIDs, i.e., EoE, e.g., eosinophilic enteritis, and EC, are defined as disorders that primarily affect the GI tract with eosinophil-rich inflammation in the absence of known causes for eosinophilia, e.g., drug reactions, parasitic infections, malignancy. 8 In addition, EoE and inherited connective tissue disorders, CTD, share excessive production of TGF-beta. EoE increases the risk for CTD by 8-fold. This association is particularly observed in hypermobility syndromes like Louis-Dietz syndrome, Marfan syndrome type 2, and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This is referred to as EoE-CTD. 86,87 Patients with EGIDs suffer from a variety of problems, including failure to thrive, abdominal pain, irritability, gastric dysmotility, vomiting, diarrhea, and dysphagia. 8890 Evidence is accumulating that supports the concept that EGIDs arise secondarily to the interplay of genetic and environmental factors. Notably, a large percentage, 10%, of patients suffering from EGIDs, especially EoE, have an immediate family member with EGIDs. 1,2 In addition, several lines of evidence support an allergic etiology, including the findings of mast cell degranulation in tissue specimens. 91,92 That approximately 75% of patients with EGIDs are atopic. 5,7,93 That disease severity can typically be reversed by institution of an allergen-free diet. 5,7 And, importantly, that the disease often relapses upon food reintroduction. 100 In addition, murine models of EGIDs support a potential allergic etiology for these disorders. 101,102 Interestingly, despite the common finding of food-specific IgE in patients with EGIDs, food-induced anaphylactic responses occur in only a minority of patients. 8 Thus, EGIDs have properties that fall between pure IgE-mediated food allergy and cellular-mediated hypersensitivity disorders, e.g., celiac disease. 811 Although the incidence of primary EGIDs has not been rigorously calculated, a mini-epidemic of these diseases, especially EoE, has been noted over the past decade. 73 For example, EOE is a global health problem now reported in Australia 103, Brazil 104, England 105, Italy 106, Israel 107, Japan 108, Spain 109 and Switzerland. 110 Liakuras and his group at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia have found that approximately 10% of their pediatric patients with GERD-like symptoms who are unresponsive to acid blockade have EOE. 79 Furuta and his colleagues at Boston Children's Hospital have reported that 6% of their patients with esophagitis have EOE. 111 Finally, Noel et al. Have reported a prevalence of approximately 1:1,000 children in the Cincinnati metropolitan area over a 10-year period. 2 With the introduction of ICD-9/10 CM codes for these conditions, recent investigations by Consortium of Eosinophilic Gastrointestinal Disease Researchers, SIGUR, investigators were able to accurately estimate the prevalence of EGIDs. Using a highly specific case definition 112, the prevalence of EOE has been estimated to be between 39.0 and 56.7/100,000 in the US. 113 consistent with earlier work. 2 With an extrapolated national prevalence of approximately 105,000 to 150,000 cases. 113,114 Despite increases in EOE prevalence over the past 2 decades, however, it is still a rare disease. A recent meta-analysis estimated the pooled prevalence of just 22.7/100,000,115, suggesting that even fewer than 100,000 cases exist in the U.S. In a separate study done by SIGUR, the prevalence of EG was found to be 6.4/100,000, extrapolated to approximately 17,000 cases in the U.S., and the prevalence of EC was estimated at 3.5/100,000, extrapolated to approximately 9,000 CASES 116. This rare prevalence was confirmed in an independent study as well. 117,118 EGIDs typically occur independent of peripheral blood eosinophilia, 50% of the time, indicating the potential significance of GI-specific mechanisms for regulating eosinophil levels. Indeed, the importance of the eotaxin pathway in this process has been demonstrated. 119,120 However, some patients with EGIDs, typically those with EG, can have substantially elevated levels of peripheral blood eosinophils and meet the diagnostic criteria for hypereosinophilic syndrome, HES. 121. This syndrome is defined by sustained, severe peripheral blood eosinophilia, greater than 1,500 cells/mm3, and the presence of end organ involvement in the absence of known causes for eosinophilia. 122 Notably, while HES commonly involves the GI tract, the other end organs typically associated with HES such as the heart and skin are uncommonly involved in EGIDs. It has been appreciated that a subset of patients with HES have a microdeletion on chromosome 4 that generates an activated tyrosine kinase, FIP1L1 PTCFR fusion gene, susceptible to imatinib mesylate therapy. 123. The possible occurrence table 30.3 Differential diagnosis for gastrointestinal GI eosinophilia GERD eosinophilic gastrointestinal disorders, EGIDs, eosinophilic esophagitis, EOE, Mendelian and inherited connective tissue disease, CTD, including hypermobility syndrome. Associated EOE, EOE-CTD, hyper-IgE syndrome, autosomal dominant and recessive Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility type urban deficiency Louis-Dietz syndrome, LDS, Netherton syndrome PTE and hamartoma syndrome, PHTS, severe atopy syndrome associated with metabolic wasting, SAM, syndrome eosinophilic gastritis eosinophilic enteritis eosinophilic gastroenteritis eosinophilic colitis infections schistosomiasis anisocchiasis GI basidiobulomycosis toxcariasis ancylostoma duodenal HP. Celiac disease hypereosinophilic syndrome, HES, drug hypersensitivity response IBD transplantation associated eosinophilic enteritis eosinophilic granulomatous polyangiitis, Churg-Strauss syndrome. Toxic injury graft versus host disease vasculitis collagen vascular diseases Chapter 30 Eosinophilic disorders of the gastrointestinal tract 427 30 of this and other genetic events in patients with EGIDs, especially those with significant circulating eosinophilia, is currently being investigated. Eosinophilic esophagitis. As the esophagus is normally devoid of eosinophils, finding esophageal eosinophils denotes pathology. 8,73 It is now appreciated that many disorders are accompanied by eosinophil infiltration in the esophagus, such as EOE, eosinophilic gastroenteritis, GERD, parasitic and fungal infections, IBD, HEES, esophageal leiomyomatosis, myeloproliferative disorders, carcinomatoses, polyarteritis nodosa, allergic vasculitis, collagen vascular diseases such as scleroderma, pemphigus vegetans, and drug injury. 63 Eosinophil-associated esophageal disorders are classified into primary and secondary. The primary subtype is referred to as EOE and includes the atopic, nonotopic, and syndromic disorders, particularly those associated with inherited CTD such as hypermobility syndrome 124 and familial EOE variants. 125 The familial form of EOE is seen in 5% to 10% of patients. And the sibling recurrence risk ratio has been estimated to be over 50-fold. 126 Moreover, there are several other Mendelian diseases associated with EOE, urban deficiency, Netherton syndrome, PTE and hamartoma tumor syndrome, and severe atopy syndrome associated with metabolic wasting syndrome. See Table 30.3. 86 The secondary subtype is divided into two groups, one composed of systemic eosinophilic disorders, i.e., HEES, and the other of essentially non-eosinophilic disorders. Etiology EOE is a clinico-pathologic condition that is commonly recognized among both pediatric and adult patients presenting to allergy and gastroenterology clinics throughout the world. The annual EOE incidence rates varying between 0.1 and 1.2 per 10,000 in several studies, with EOE representing the second most common cause of chronic esophagitis. 2,103 The etiology of EOE is poorly understood, but food allergy has been implicated as a primary contributor. In fact, the majority of patients have evidence of a food allergen and aeroallergen sensitization as defined by skin prick and / or allergen-specific IgE tests. However, only a minority have a history of food anaphylaxis. 73 Although considered a food allergen-driven allergic disease, evidence has accumulated that the positive skin tests and allergen-specific IgE are markers of the involved immunologic response rather than reflective of the primary mechanism. 86 It has also been suggested that esophageal eosinophilic inflammation is mechanistically linked with pulmonary inflammation. This latter theory is based on the finding that repeated delivery of specific allergens or the Th2 cytokine IL-13 to the lung of mice, as well transgenic overexpression of IL-13 in the lung of mice, induces experimental EOE 47,127,128 and the observation of increased eosinophil accumulation in the esophagus of patients with seasonal allergic rhinitis with hypersensitivity to GRAS. 129 Other studies have also indicated a strong relationship between atopy and EOE. 130 Indeed, patients with EOE commonly report seasonal variations in their esophageal symptoms. In addition to eosinophils, T cells and mast cells are elevated in esophageal mucosal biopsies, suggesting chronic Th2-associated inflammation. 131,132 Elevated TGF-beta, produced by eosinophils and mast cells, has been shown to contribute to tissue remodeling and smooth muscle dysfunction. 133 Furthermore, epicutaneous antigen exposure primes the esophagus for marked eosinophilic inflammation following a single airway antigen challenge. 134 The genome-wide microarray expression profile analysis of esophageal tissue was a landmark advance in EOE research. 3 Investigators compared gene transcript expression in the esophageal tissue of patients with EOE or chronic esophagitis, typical of GERD, and normal individuals. Notably, the dysregulated expression of approximately 1% of the entire human genome constituted an EOE genetic signature. Interestingly, eotaxin 3 was the most overexpressed gene in patients with EOE, and levels correlated with disease severity. In fact, overexpression of eotaxin 3 alone has a predictive value of 89% in diagnosing EOE from a single esophageal biopsy. 46 The same investigators demonstrated that mice with a genetic ablation of the eotaxin receptor, CCR3, were protected from the development of experimental EOE. Collectively, These results strongly implicate eotaxin 3 in the pathoetiology of EOE and offer a molecular connection between Th2 inflammation and the development of EOE. The first genome-wide association study linked EOE to the genetic locus region 5q22, which harbors the TSLP gene. Notably, TSLP has a known role in processes germane to EOE, including polarization of Th2 immunity and induction of eotaxins. 135 Subsequent genome-wide association studies validated the TSLP locus and also identified a strong genetic susceptibility locus at 2p23, at the CAPN14 gene locus. 136 CAPN14 encodes for calpain 14, an esophageal-specific intracellular cysteine protease that regulates epithelial cell barrier function. Interestingly, calpain 14 is induced by IL-13, linking allergic type 2 adaptive immune responses with an innate epithelial cell response. As such, this esophageal-specific pathway helps to explain why allergic individuals develop EOE, linking type 2 immunity, allergic, with esophageal-specific responses. 136 In support of this, genetic interplay, epistasis, of CAPN14 genetic variants with atopy susceptibility variants have been demonstrated. 137 In addition, using a broad candidate gene approach, genetic variants in TSLP and its receptor have been associated with EOE susceptibility. 138 Clinical features and diagnostic studies. EOE represents a chronic, antigen-driven, immune-mediated disease characterized clinically by symptoms related to esophageal dysfunction and histologically by eosinophil predominant inflammation. 83 EOE should be diagnosed by clinicians, taking into consideration all clinical and pathologic information. Neither of these parameters should be interpreted in isolation. The diagnostic criteria for EOE in 2011-83 emphasized that EOE requires finding 15 or more eosinophils/HPF, peak value, in the esophagus. This definition is based on a 2017 consensus recommendation that PPI responsiveness is not considered in the diagnosis of EOE, as PPI-RE has phenotypic, genetic, and molecular features that overlap with PPI-resistant esophageal eosinophilia. 84,85 With few exceptions, 15 eosinophils/HPF, peak value, is considered a minimum threshold for a diagnosis of EOE. The consequences of this eosinophil predominant inflammation of the esophagus can have a profound systemic and emotional impact for patients and their families. 124,139 In regard to the history of EOE, this disorder has been identified in the pediatric and adult patient populations, typically in male patients with evidence of atopy, and the disease most often responds to either topical glucocorticoid therapies or dietary restrictions. At this time, therapy for EOE is chronic, with recurrence of disease activity being noted rapidly after cessation of either dietary or drug-based therapies. 140 The primary symptoms of this disorder vary with the age of the patient. These symptoms include difficulties with eating, failure to thrive, chest and/or abdominal pain, dysphagia, and food impaction. 105 These symptoms generally occur in chronological order depending upon patient age, providing supportive evidence that the natural history of pediatric EOE progresses into adult EOE. 141 Infants and toddlers often present with feeding difficulties, whereas school-aged children are more likely to present with vomiting or pain. Dysphagia is a predominant symptom in adolescents. EOE in children is most often present in association with other manifestations of atopic diathesis, food allergy, asthma, eczema, chronic rhinitis, and environmental allergies, that also follows chronologic order. 428 Part 4 Topics involving multiple organs in a similar fashion to the allergic, or atopic, march. Symptoms in adult patients with EOE are somewhat stereotypical and include dysphagia, non-swallowing associated chest pain, food impaction, and upper abdominal pain. Solid food dysphagia continues to be the most common presenting symptom. 142 Food impaction necessitating endoscopic bolus removal occurs in 33% to 54% of adults with EOE. 143 The assessment of EOE includes an allergy evaluation to look for coexisting allergic diseases, given the association of EOE with the atopic march. It is no longer considered necessary to look for food allergen and aeroallergen sensitization either by skin prick tests or measurement of allergen-specific IgE in serum, as this has little bearing on successful diet therapy compared with empiric avoidance of the most common allergens. 144 However, these tests may be useful when deciding which foods to add back to the diet, especially when EOE patients have a history of acute reactions to food, anaphylaxis. Exclusion of GERD as the primary cause of esophageal eosinophilia should be considered when clinically appropriate. A study has suggested that evaluation of food protein sensitization by delayed skin patch testing increases the identification of food allergy compared with skin prick testing alone. 5 But these findings have been primarily limited to one site and are not generally recommended. Physical examinations for patients with EOE are useful to identify normal growth patterns in children and to identify comorbid allergic diseases in both children and adults. However, no features on physical examination are specific in making the diagnosis of EOE. In addition, no oral or pharyngeal manifestations of EOE have been identified, although some children who have EOE might present with laryngeal symptoms. Esophageal abnormalities identifiable by means of endoscopy in patients with EOE include fixed esophageal rings/trachealization, aka fibrostenotic complications, transient esophageal rings, whitish exudates, longitudinal furrows, Fig 30.1 showing furrowing and exudates, edema, diffuse esophageal narrowing, narrow caliber esophagus, and esophageal lacerations induced by passage of the endoscope, a manifestation of mucosal fragility that, when severe, gives the esophagus the appearance of crepe paper. However, because all of these endoscopic features have been described in other esophageal disorders, none can be considered pathognomonic for EOE. Clinical guidelines from the ACC in 2013 suggest that evaluating gastroenterologists can use the EOE endoscopic reference score to classify and grade EOE. This system is described in Table 30.4.145. Furthermore, the accuracy of the endoscopic reference score has been evaluated and the classification system can successfully identify patients with EOE and can also be used to evaluate response to treatment. 146 Endoscopy with esophageal mucosal biopsy remains the only reliable diagnostic test. For EOE, Fig 30.2. Typical histologic findings include presence of 15 or more eosinophils/HPF, dilated intercellular spaces and in some cases also elongated papillae, and inflammation and fibrosis in the lamina propria. Fig 30.1 Esophagus with furrowing and exudates. Table 30.4 Endoscopic eosinophilic esophagitis reference score. Major features: edema, also referred to as decreased vascular markings, mucosal pallor, grade 0, absent. Distinct vascularity present, grade 1, loss of clarity or absence of vascular markings. Fixed rings, also referred to concentric rings, corrugated esophagus, corrugated rings, ringed esophagus, trachealization, grade 0, none. Grade 1, mild subtle circumferential ridges. Grade 2, moderate distinct rings that do not impair passage of a standard diagnostic adult endoscope, outer diameter 8 to 9.5 mm. Grade 3, severe distinct rings that do not permit passage of a diagnostic endoscope. Exudates, also referred to as white spots, plagues, grade 0, none. Grade 1, mild lesions involving less than 10% of the esophageal surface area. Grade 2, severe lesions involving greater than 10% of the esophageal surface area. Furrows, also referred to as vertical lines, longitudinal furrows, grade 0, absent. Grade 1, vertical lines present. Stricture, grade 0, absent. Grade 1, present. Specify estimated luminal diameter. Minor features: crepe paper esophagus, mucosal fragility or laceration upon passage of diagnostic endoscope but not after esophageal dilation. Grade 0, absent. Grade 1, present. Narrow caliber esophagus, reduced luminal diameter of the majority of the tubular esophagus. Grade 0, absent. Grade 1, present. Adapted from Hirano I, Moyen, Hexam MG, ETAL. Endoscopic assessment of the esophageal features of eosinophilic esophagitis. Validation of a novel classification and grading system. Gut 2013, 62:489-95. Fig 30.2 Hematoxylin and eosin staining of esophagus from a patient with EOE. Arrows point to eosinophils, including at the surface, arrowhead points to dilated intercellular spaces, asterisk marks lamina propria showing inflammation and fibrosis, and the green arrow points to elongated papillae. There is also marked basal layer hyperplasia with the basal layer reaching almost to the surface. Chapter 30 Eosinophilic Disorders of the Gastrointestinal Tract 429-30, see Fig 30.2. In 2017 a newly developed histologic scoring system, HSS, for EOE was validated. In addition to identifying 15 or more eosinophils/HPF, 8 other histologic features were shown to differentiate treated from untreated patients and that the HSS outperforms esophageal eosinophil levels for disease diagnosis and monitoring. The 8 HSS features include eosinophil density, basal zone hyperplasia, eosinophil abscesses, eosinophil surface layering, dilated intercellular spaces, surface epithelial alteration, dyskeratotic epithelial cells, and lamina propria fibrosis. Severity and extent are scored using a 4-point scale, with 0 being normal and 3 denoting maximum change. 147 However, the finding of isolated esophageal eosinophilia without determining corroborating symptoms and ruling out other causes of esophageal eosinophilia is inadequate to make the diagnosis of EOE. 83 Specifically, some of these presenting symptoms cannot easily distinguish EOE from GERD. The distinguishing features between GERD and EOE are summarized in Table 30.5. The number and location of eosinophils are helpful when trying to differentiate EOE from GERD. Up to 7 eosinophils/HPF, 400 times, is most indicative of GERD. 7 to 15 eosinophils/HPF likely represents a combination of GERD and food allergy, and at least 15 eosinophils/HPF is characteristic of EOE. 63,148 The anatomic location of eosinophils to both the proximal and distal esophagus denotes EOE, while the accumulation of eosinophils mainly in the distal esophagus is characteristic of GERD. 73 Some studies have also identified that mast cells are increased in biopsy specimens from patients with EOE compared with those from patients with GERD. 149,150 IgE-bearing cells are more common in biopsy specimens from patients with EOE compared with those from patients with GERD and are also not detected in control specimens. 151 Esophageal pH monitoring, and pH impedance, where available, is a useful diagnostic test to evaluate for GERD in patients with esophageal eosinophilia. In addition, consensus guidelines indicated that barium contrast radiography can identify a number of the anatomic and mucosal abnormalities of EOE, but that the sensitivity of radiography as a diagnostic test for this condition appears to be low. Therefore, radiology is not recommended as a routine diagnostic test for EOE but can be helpful in select cases to characterize anatomic abnormalities that can be difficult to define endoscopically and to gather more information regarding the length and diameter of complicated esophageal strictures. A newer technique using the endoluminal functional lumen imaging probe, EndoFLIP, offers a unique evaluation of esophageal function as it relates to EOE. It has been shown that esophageal distensibility is reduced in EOE with an associated risk of food impaction or need for therapeutic dilation. One study even demonstrated improvement in esophageal body distensibility with medical and diet therapies without dilation. This improved distensibility correlated with symptomatic improvement more than the reduction in esophageal mucosal eosinophil count. More studies will need to be completed before EndoFLIP can be used definitively as an outcome measure. 152,153 Treatment. There are several first-line treatments for EOE, and they include dietary therapy, topical glucocorticoids, and a PPI. It has been shown that dietary therapy frequently improves symptoms and reduces the number of eosinophils in the esophageal biopsies. In Table 30.5 Comparison of eosinophilic esophagitis and GERD Characteristic features Eosinophilic esophagitis GERD Clinical prevalence 1,110 Prevalence of atopy Very high normal Prevalence of food sensitization Very high normal Gender preference Male None Abdominal pain and vomiting Common food impaction Common uncommon Investigative Findings: pH probe/impedance study, normal abnormal endoscopic furrowing, very common, occasional histopathology/pathogenesis, involvement of proximal esophagus, yes no, involvement of distal esophagus, yes yes, epithelial hyperplasia, severely increased eosinophil levels in mucosa, 15/HPF 0-7/HPF, elevated eotaxin 3 level, yes no, EOE diagnostic panel positive, yes no, treatment H2 receptor antihistamines not helpful, proton pump inhibitors helpful, in subset helpful, glucocorticoids helpful not helpful, specific food antigen elimination helpful not helpful, elemental diet helpful not helpful, anti-IL-13 and anti-IL-4R alpha helpful not helpful, HPF, high power field, IL, interleukin. Modified from Rothenberg me. Eosinophilic gastrointestinal disorders, EGID. J. Allergy Clin Immunol 2004, 113:11-8. Copyright 2004, with permission from the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. 430 Part 4 Topics involving multiple organs, patients with primary EOE, allergic or non-allergic subtypes. 0.6,154 A trial of specific food allergen and aeroallergen avoidance is often indicated for patients with atopic EOE. If this approach is unsatisfactory or proves practically difficult, i.e., when patients are sensitized to many allergens, a diet consisting of an amino acid-based formula, termed the elemental diet, or avoidance of the most common allergenic foods, cow milk, soy, wheat, egg, peanut/tree nuts, and seafood/shellfish, termed the 6-food elimination diet, SFED, 155 is advocated. Patients on elemental diets sometimes require placement of a gastrostomy tube in order to achieve adequate caloric support. Studies looking at the effectiveness of different dietary regimens focused on comparison between the empiric SFED, modified SFED, SFED plus elimination of foods identified by skin test or as causative, and elemental diet. 100,144,156 In these studies, it was shown that the elemental diet is superior to the empiric SFED and skin test directed diet, modified SFED. Furthermore, it has been shown that the empiric SFED is an effective therapy in adult EOE and that the response rate to the empiric SFED is similar to the response rate to skin test directed diet therapy, 74% to 81% response rate. Such response rates are similar to the reported response rates to swallowed glucocorticoids in both adult and pediatric EOE populations. 157-160 Less restrictive diets like the 2-food elimination diet, dairy and gluten, and 4-food elimination diet, dairy, gluten, egg, and legumes, have been used with decent efficacy rates of 43% and 54%, respectively, in the pediatric population. A step-up approach for the elimination diet from 2-food elimination diet to 4-food elimination diet and then SFED has been proposed as it avoids unnecessary dietary restrictions. 161,162 Preliminary findings suggest that a 1-food elimination diet, OFED, may have a role in the treatment of EOE. 163,164 Kagalwala et al. Proposed using an OFED of cow's milk, and results have shown clinical and histologic remission in 65% of pediatric patients. 164 In addition, OFED with the elimination of cow's milk has been compared with swallowed fluticasone, and 64% of OFED patients were found to have esophageal eosinophil counts of less than 15 eosinophils/HPF and a significant improvement in the symptom score as compared with 80% in the fluticasone group. 163 Studies by Gonsalves et al. 100 and Spergel et al. 156 identified only 34% to 40% of EOE-related causative foods on the basis of both skin test and endoscopy response to elimination or reintroduction of food, implying that either EOE is triggered by non-food related stimuli, or alternatively and more likely, that the methods of identifying food hypersensitivity are currently inadequate and therefore are not used routinely in the evaluation of EOE patients. The most common food triggers in the adult cohort were wheat, 60%, milk, 50%, soy, 10%, nuts, 10%, and eggs, 5%, while in the pediatric cohort the most common triggers were milk, 35%, eggs, 13%, wheat, 12%, and soy, 9%. Based on these described frequencies, and the rationale of reintroducing the foods least likely to be triggers first, it was suggested that the sequence for reintroduction of food in pediatric patients should be seafood/nuts first, followed sequentially by soy, wheat, eggs, and finally milk, and in adults should be seafood first, followed sequentially by eggs, nuts/soy, milk, and finally wheat. Systemic 79 or topical glucocorticoids 165 have also been used to treat EOE with satisfactory results. Systemic glucocorticoids are used for acute exacerbations, whereas topical glucocorticoids are used to provide long-term control. A study that followed patients with EOE for 10 years supported the efficacy of continuing glucocorticoids and food elimination therapy for EOE. 166 when using topical glucocorticoids in the form of fluticasone, a metered dose inhaler without a spacer has been advocated. 83. Alternatively, a slurry of budesonide, in the form used for nebulizers, with sucralose, Splenda, also has been recommended. 83,159 The patient is instructed to swallow the dose to promote deposition on the esophageal mucosa. While the metered dose inhaler is recommended with the topical fluticasone, other studies have shown the success of using an oral suspension of budesonide for patients with EOE who are unable to use inhalers. 158,167 In the first placebo-controlled, double-blind clinical trial for EOE, swallowed topical fluticasone was found to be effective in inducing disease remission, including reductions in eosinophil, mast cell, and CD8 T cell levels, as well as the degree of epithelial hyperplasia. 157. However, it is important to point out that steroid resistance also occurs. Significant toxicity associated with glucocorticoids, e.g., adrenal suppression, is unlikely to be seen with swallowed fluticasone or budesonide because these drugs undergo first-pass metabolism in the liver following GI absorption. 168 However, at Cincinnati Children's, 10% of children whose EOE was treated with fluticasone greater than 440 μg daily showed evidence of adrenal suppression. 169 In addition, patients can develop esophageal candidiasis, which is treatable with antifungal therapy. See Chapter 45. 170 Although topical glucocorticoids are considered first-line for EOE, thus far no topical formulation has been approved for EOE in the US. An orodispersible budesonide tablet has been approved in Europe. 171 Several clinical trials are underway at present with viscous oral budesonide as well as budesonide effervescent tablets. PPI therapy can establish histologic remission and symptom amelioration in 50% and 60% of EOE patients, respectively. 85,117 The 2017 European guidelines use high-dose PPI for 8 weeks as a first line in the treatment algorithm for EOE. In addition, several systematic reviews and meta-analyses corroborate evidence to support PPI use as first-line therapy, particularly at high dosage. Esophageal dilation with or without concomitant medical or dietary therapy can provide relief of dysphagia in select patients with EOE. However, in the absence of high-grade esophageal stenosis, a trial of medical or dietary therapy before dilation is reasonable. However, esophageal dilation as a primary therapy without concomitant medical or dietary therapy does not address the underlying inflammatory process. Techniques described for esophageal dilation in patients with EOE include the use of both through-the-scope and bougie dilators. Although the risk of perforation is low, a more conservative and careful approach in the esophageal dilation technique is advised for patients with EOE compared with those with other benign entities. 172 The practice of gradual esophageal dilation with a target goal of 15 to 18 mm and of limiting the progression of dilation diameter per session to 3 mm or even less if resistance is encountered is reasonable but has not been specifically addressed in patients with EOE. Complications have been shown to be associated with younger patient age and higher number of dilations, narrowing in the upper third of the esophagus, and inability to traverse the narrowing with the scope before dilation. 173 The risk of chest pain after dilation is significant and should be discussed with patients prior to dilatation. Therapy directed against the eosinophil growth factor IL-5 is effective in animal studies 174 and has recently been tested in clinical trials. 3334 Two different humanized IL-5 specific antibodies, mepolizumab and reslizumab, have been developed and tested in clinical trials for EoE. 3334,175 Mepolizumab therapy resulted in a dramatic decline in blood eosinophilia and reduced esophageal eosinophil infiltration in patients with EoE but had variable effects on symptoms. 33 Other therapies to reduce eosinophil tissue accumulation in EoE could potentially target IL-13. Animal models have shown that IL-13 is a key cytokine that regulates the recruitment of eosinophils at inflammatory sites, primarily through the induction of chemokine expression. 176,177 The humanized IL-13 specific antibody lebrikizumab was recently studied in patients with mild asthma. However, such therapy seems to have a variable effect on tissue eosinophilia and possibly causes an increase in the peripheral eosinophil counts. 178 Preclinical data substantiate that anti-IL-13 agents may be particularly effective in EoE, and a clinical trial has been conducted, with some promising results demonstrating a mean esophageal eosinophil count reduction. Chapter 30 Eosinophilic disorders of the gastrointestinal tract 431 of 60%. 179 Multisite studies evaluating a human anti-IL-13 antibody, RPC 4046, as well as a human antibody against the IL-4 receptor alpha chain, dupilumab, which blocks IL-13 and the related cytokine IL-4, have been shown to improve histopathology, including esophageal eosinophilia, endoscopic and clinical features of EoE. 86 Dupilumab is FDA approved for atopic dermatitis, whereas RPC 4046 is in development. Another candidate for targeted EoE therapy is the chemoattractant receptor of Th2 cells, CRTH2, aka prostaglandin D2 receptor 2, which is thought to be an effector of the Th2 response. CRTH2 is expressed on the surface of Th2 cells, eosinophils, and basophils 180 and is a G protein-coupled receptor. 181 Low molecular mass CRTH2 antagonists partially attenuate pulmonary eosinophilia in various models. 182 Further, in a Phase 2 clinical trial, patients with moderate persistent asthma had a significant reduction in sputum eosinophil count 183 and improved asthma control. 184 Preliminary data from a clinical trial of patients with active EoE show that treatment with a CRTH2 antagonist results in a moderate reduction in tissue eosinophilia. 185 However, additional clinical data are needed to evaluate the effectiveness of such G protein-coupled receptor antagonists. Prognosis EoE requires prolonged treatment, similar to allergic asthma. The natural history of EoE has not been fully delineated, however, a 15-year follow-up of esophageal eosinophilia from childhood into adulthood revealed ongoing symptoms in the vast majority of patients. 186 Thus, it is likely that chronic EoE, if left untreated, can develop into progressive esophageal scarring and dysfunction. EoE complications include food impaction, esophageal stricture, narrow caliber esophagus, and esophageal perforation. The duration of untreated EoE is a good predictor of stricture risk. 187 The prevalence of food impaction, defined as food retention requiring endoscopic extraction, in adults ranged from 30% to 55%. 188,189 Stricture definition is problematic, given that esophageal rings are a common manifestation of the disease state in adults and because the presence of rings implies some degree of esophageal stricture. Consensus guidelines noted that radiographic definition might be preferable to endoscopic assessment in this regard, since radiographic definition might provide supplemental information regarding the length of the narrowing, which might affect possible treatment options and dilatations. Stricture prevalence in adults with EoE ranged from 11% to 31%. 172,188,190,191 A full thickness tear is defined as permitting esophageal or gastric contents to enter the chest cavity and requires surgical treatment. A partial rupture is defined by limited air or contrast extravasation into the mediastinum and is managed conservatively. Esophageal intramural tears are identified endoscopically as deep lacerations extending into the esophageal submucosa or radiographically by contrast extending outside the esophageal lumen but contained within the esophageal wall. The risk for developing Barrett's esophagus, especially in patients with coexisting EOE and GERD, has not been determined but does not seem to be a concern, see Chapter 47. In addition, patients with EOE are at increased risk for developing other forms of EGIDS6, thus, routine surveillance of the entire GI tract by endoscopy may be warranted. Eosinophilic gastritis, enteritis, and gastroenteritis. In contrast to the esophagus, the stomach and intestine have readily detectable baseline levels of eosinophils under healthy conditions. Making the diagnosis of e.g. enteritis or eosinophilic gastroenteritis, EG, is therefore more complex than making the diagnosis of EOE. Since e.g. enteritis and gastroenteritis are clinically similar and since there is a paucity of information available concerning their pathogenesis, they will be discussed together. However, it is likely that these conditions are indeed distinct entities in most patients. In a population-based study, the prevalences of EG and EC were 5.1/100,000 persons and 2.1/100,000 persons, respectively. 118 EG is the second most common form of EGIDs, but no consensus recommendations regarding clinical or pathologic diagnosis exist. WIN-ETAL has proposed that EG can be diagnosed when at least 30 eosinophils/HPF is identified in at least 5 distinct HPFS in the stomach. 192, Shehade-ETAL proposed at least 70 eosinophils/HPF in at 3 HPFS. 193 The incidence and prevalence of EG, EG, and EC are increasing. The reasons behind this are unknown. 116 These diseases are characterized by the selective infiltration of eosinophils in the stomach and/or small intestine, with variable involvement of the esophagus and/or large intestine. 23, 194, 195 Secondary causes of gastric eosinophilic infiltration include parasitic and bacterial infections, e.g., Helicobacter pylori, IBD, HES, myeloproliferative disorders, polyarteritis nodosa, allergic vasculitis, scleroderma, drug injury, and drug hypersensitivity. The primary subtype includes the atopic, nonotopic, and familial variants, and the secondary subtype is divided into two groups, one composed of systemic eosinophilic disorders, HES, and the other of non-eosinophilic disorders, see Table 30.3. Primary e.g., enteritis and gastroenteritis have also been called idiopathic or allergic gastroenteropathy. The familial form has not been well characterized but is seen in about 10% of these authors' own patients. Unpublished findings. 1 Primary EG encompasses multiple disease entities subcategorized into 3 types on the basis of the level of histological involvement: mucosal, muscularis, and serosal forms. 196 Of note, any layer of the GI tract can be involved, thus, endoscopic mucosal biopsy can be normal in patients with the muscularis and/or serosal subtypes. Etiology. While e.g., enteritis and gastroenteritis are idiopathic in nature, an allergic mechanism has been suggested in at least a subset of patients. 197 Indeed, elevated total IgE and food-specific IgE have been detected. On the other hand, syndromes with focal erosive gastritis, enteritis, and occasionally esophagitis with prominent eosinophilia, such as dietary, food, protein-induced enterocolitis and dietary protein enteropathy, are characterized by negative skin tests and absent specific IgE. 198 Most patients have positive skin tests to a variety of food antigens but do not have typical anaphylactic reactions, consistent with a delayed type of food hypersensitivity syndrome. In one study, 23% of patients with EG lacked peripheral eosinophilia, but up to 50% of patients with the mucosal form had a history of food allergy or intolerance. 20, 196 In another study of e.g., increased levels of blood eosinophils were seen in nearly 90% of patients and shown to strongly correlate with levels of gastric eosinophils, indicating that blood eosinophil levels can serve as a non-invasive biomarker. Unlike in EOE. 199 Indeed, experimental induction of EDGE, involving the esophagus, stomach, and intestine, in mice can be accomplished by oral allergen administration, in the form of enteric-coated allergen beads, to sensitized mice. 102 Notably, the mice developed eosinophil-associated GI dysfunction including gastromegaly, delayed food transit, and weight loss, all strongly dependent upon the chemokine eotaxin 1.200. Ultrastructural analysis of intestinal tissue suggested that the eosinophils were mediating axonal necrosis, a finding that has been reported in patients with intestinal eosinophilia associated with IBD. 201 Notably, mast cells are also increased in EGIDs, and a murine model of oral allergen-induced diarrhea has demonstrated a critical role for IL-9-driven mast cells in the pathogenesis of this specific cardinal feature, allergic diarrhea, of EGIDs. 202,203 Increased secretion of IL-4 and IL-5 by peripheral blood T cells has been reported in patients with EDGE. 197 Furthermore, T cells derived from the lamina propria of the duodenum of patients with EGID preferentially secrete Th2 cytokines, especially IL-13. 432 Part 4 Topics involving multiple organs when stimulated with milk proteins. 204 Gastric biopsies display a distinct transcriptome compared with control individuals including patients infected with H. pylori. The EG transcriptome expresses high levels of eotaxin 3 as well as other genes associated with Th2-associated immunity, yet overlaps with only 5% of the EOE transcriptome. 199 IgA deficiency has also been associated with EDGE. It is interesting to speculate that this could be related to the associated increased rate of atopy or to an occult GI infection in these patients. 205 It is important to keep in mind that EDGE and the dietary protein-induced syndromes, enterocolitis, enteropathy, and colitis, may represent a continuum of EGIDs with similar underlying immunopathogenic mechanisms. In addition, EDGE can frequently be associated with protein-losing enteropathy, see Chapter 31, point 193. Of note, cases of eosinophilic enteritis have been reported with systemic lupus erythematosus with an unknown pathologic association. 206,207 Clinical features and diagnostic studies. In general, these disorders present with a constellation of symptoms that are related to the degree and area of the GI tract affected. However, even patients with isolated eosinophilic enteritis, e.g., duodenitis, can have a range of GI symptoms. The mucosal form of EDGE, the most common variant, is characterized by vomiting, abdominal pain that can even mimic acute appendicitis, diarrhea, blood loss in the stools, iron deficiency anemia, malabsorption, protein-losing enteropathy, and failure to thrive. 193,208 The muscularis form is characterized by infiltration of eosinophils predominantly in the muscularis layer, leading to thickening of the bowel wall, which may result in symptoms of GI obstruction mimicking pyloric stenosis or other causes of gastric outlet obstruction. The serosal form occurs in a minority of patients with EDGE, and it is characterized by exudative ascites with higher peripheral eosinophil counts compared with the other forms. 20 The evaluation for EGIDs starts with a comprehensive history and physical examination followed by diagnostic testing, box 30.1. Evaluation for intestinal parasites by examination of stool samples, intestinal aspirates obtained during colonoscopy, or specific blood antibody titers should be performed, especially when patients have high-risk exposure, e.g., foreign travel, living on a farm, drinking well water, see Chapter 114. As a precaution, before using systemic immunosuppression for EGIDs, infection with Strongyloides stercoralis should be ruled out as this infection can become life-threatening in the setting of systemic immunosuppression. 209 The evaluation of total IgE levels has significance in stratifying patients with atopic variants of EGIDs or suggesting further consideration for occult parasitic infections. Notably, skin prick testing to a panel of food allergens and aeroallergens helps to identify sensitizations to specific allergens. Cutaneous hypersensitivity testing, skin patch testing, for specific food antigens may be helpful in further identifying allergic variants of EOE.5. Indeed, patients with the atopic variant of EGIDs have evidence of IgE sensitization to a mean of 14 different foods. 1 No standards for the diagnosis of EG enteritis or EDGE exist. 20,208 Some findings that support the diagnosis are the presence of elevated eosinophils in biopsy specimens from the GI tract wall, in comparison with normal levels. As shown in Table 30.2, the infiltration of eosinophils within intestinal crypts and gastric glands, the lack of involvement of other organs, and the exclusion of other causes of eosinophilia, e.g., infections, IBD. Histologic analysis of the small bowel from patients with these disorders reveals extracellular deposition of eosinophil granule constituents and extracellular MBP and ECP deposition as detected immunohistochemically. 20,23,24,68 Patients with EG can have micronodules, and/or polyposis, noted on endoscopy, and these lesions often contain marked aggregates of lymphocytes and eosinophils. Treatment: eliminating the dietary intake of the foods implicated by skin prick tests, or measurement of allergen-specific IgE levels, has variable effects, but complete resolution is generally achieved with amino acid-based elemental diets. 193,210 Once disease remission has been obtained by dietary modification, the specific food groups are slowly reintroduced, at 3-week intervals for each food group. An endoscopy is performed every 3 months to identify either sustained remission or disease flare-up. Notably, a clinical trial at the author's institution using the eosinophil-depleting antibody, anti-IL-5 receptor alpha, benralizumab, now FDA approved for eosinophilic asthma, for EG and EDGE is now underway. Drugs such as cromoglycate, montelukast, ketotifen, suplatist tosylate, mycophenolate mofetil, and alternative Chinese medicines have been advocated. 1,90 But they are generally unsuccessful in the author's experience. However, successful long-term remission of EDGE following montelukast treatment has been reported. 211 In the author's institution, an appropriate therapeutic approach includes a trial of food elimination if sensitization to food is found by skin prick tests and/or measurement of specific IgE levels. If no sensitization is found or if specific food avoidance is not feasible, elemental formula feedings are instituted. The management of EGIDs, in addition to an elemental diet as mentioned previously, includes the following: systemic and topical glucocorticoids, non-glucocorticoid anti-inflammatory therapy, management of EGID complications, such as iron deficiency anemia, and the management of therapeutic toxicity. 212 Anti-inflammatory drugs, systemic or topical glucocorticoids, are the main therapy if diet restriction is not feasible or has failed to improve the disease. For systemic steroid therapy, a course of 2 to 6 weeks of therapy with relatively low doses seems to work better than a 7-day course of burst glucocorticoids. There are several forms of topical glucocorticoids designed to deliver drugs to specific segments of the GI tract, e.g., budesonide tablets. Entocort Box 301 Considerations for diagnostic workup for eosinophilic GI disorders: general complete blood count and differential total IgE, erythrocyte sedimentation rate and C-reactive protein, normal in EGIDs, skin prick testing and tests for specific IgE, as part of comprehensive allergy workup, infection workup, stool and colonic aspirate analysis, upper and lower gastrointestinal endoscopy with biopsies, pH probe, impedance study, endoflip, compliance measure in esophagus, EOE diagnostic panel in the presence of hypereosinophilia, bone marrow analysis, serum tryptase, serum vitamin B12, echocardiogram, chromosomal and cytogenetic screen, genetic analysis for FIP1L1 PTCFR fusion gene and other genetic abnormalities based on chromosomal studies, evaluation and biopsy of any other potentially involved tissue, EGIDs. Eosinophilic GI disorders, EOE, eosinophilic esophagitis, IgE, immunoglobulin E. Reproduced from Rothenberg Me. Eosinophilic gastrointestinal disorders, EGID. J. Allergy Clin Immunol 2004, 113:1128. Copyright 2004, with permission from the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology. Chapter 30 Eosinophilic Disorders of the Gastrointestinal Tract 433-30 EC designed to deliver the drug to the ileum and proximal colon. As with asthmatic treatment, topical glucocorticoids have a better benefit-to-risk effect compared with systemic glucocorticoids. In severe cases that are refractory to or dependent upon glucocorticoid therapy, intravenous alimentation, or immunosuppressive antimetabolite therapy with azathioprine or 6-mercaptopurine are alternatives. Finally, even if GERD is not present, neutralization of gastric acidity with PPI may improve symptoms and the degree of esophageal and gastric pathology. Prognosis: the natural history of e.g., enteritis and EDGE has not been well documented. However, these diseases wax and wane chronically. In patients with clear food antigen-induced disease, abnormal levels of circulating IgE and eosinophils often serve as markers for tissue involvement. Because these diseases can often be a manifestation of another primary disease process, routine surveillance of the cardiopulmonary systems is recommended. When the disease presents in infancy and specific food sensitization can be identified, there is a high likelihood of disease remission by late childhood. Eosinophilic colitis: eosinophils accumulate in the colon of patients with a variety of disorders, including eosinophilic gastroenteritis, allergic colitis of infancy, infections, e.g., pinworms, dog hookworms, drug reactions, vasculitis, e.g., eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis, and IBD.213,214 allergic colitis in infancy, also known as dietary protein-induced procticolitis of infancy syndrome, is the most common cause of bloody stools in the first year of life. 215,216. Similar to other EGID, these disorders are classified into primary and secondary. Etiology: EC is usually a non-IgE associated disease. Some studies point to a T lymphocyte-mediated process, but the exact immunologic mechanisms responsible for this condition have not been identified. 217 In a murine model of oral antigen-induced diarrhea associated with colonic inflammation, colonic T cells have been shown to transfer the disease to naive mice by a STAT6-dependent mechanism. 40 It has been reported that allergic colitis of infancy might be an early expression of protein-induced enteropathy or protein-induced enterocolitis syndrome. Cow's milk and soy proteins are the foods most frequently implicated in allergic colitis of infancy, but other food proteins can also provoke the disease. In general, although data are lacking, EC is considered more aligned with autoimmune processes including IBD compared with EoE and gastritis, which are more aligned with allergic diseases. Clinical features and diagnostic studies: a variety of symptoms associated with EC are noted depending upon the degree and location of tissue involvement. While diarrhea is a classic symptom, other symptoms that can occur independent of diarrhea commonly include abdominal pain, weight loss, and anorexia. There is a bimodal age distribution, with the infantile form presenting at a mean age at diagnosis of approximately 60 DAYS71 and the other form presenting during adolescence and early adulthood. 1 In infants, bloody diarrhea precedes diagnosis by several weeks, and anemia due to blood loss is not uncommon. Most infants do not have constitutional symptoms and are otherwise healthy. On endoscopic examination, patchy erythema, loss of vascularity, and lymphonodular hyperplasia are mostly localized to the rectum but may extend to the entire colon. Fig 30.3a. 217 Histologic examination often reveals that the overall architecture of the mucosa is well preserved. However, there are focal aggregates of eosinophils in the lamina propria, crypt epithelium, and muscularis mucosa and, occasionally, the presence of multinucleated giant cells in the submucosa. See Fig 30.3b. No single test is the gold standard for diagnosis, but peripheral blood eosinophilia or eosinophils in the stool are suggestive of EC. AB Fig 30.3 Eosinophilic colitis in an infant presenting with heme-positive stools and anemia. A. The endoscopic image of the rectum shows mucosal nodularity with central umbilication characteristic of nodular lymphoid hyperplasia, findings often associated with food allergies. B. Photomicrograph of a rectal mucosal biopsy show increased numbers of eosinophils in the lamina propria that are forming aggregates and occasionally encroaching on the epithelium and crypts, hematoxylin and eosin, times 40. 434 Part 4 Topics involving multiple organs. Treatment of EC varies primarily depending upon the disease subtype. For example, EC of infancy is generally a benign disease. Upon withdrawal of the offending protein trigger in the diet, the gross blood in the stools usually resolves within 72 hours, but gross and occult blood loss may persist longer. 70,218 Treatment of EC in older individuals usually requires medical management. Anti-inflammatory drugs including 5-aminosalicylates and systemic or topical glucocorticoids are commonly used and appear to be efficacious, but careful clinical trials have not been conducted. There are several forms of topical glucocorticoids designed to deliver drugs to the distal colon and rectum, but EC typically also involves the proximal colon. In severe cases that are refractory to or dependent upon systemic glucocorticoid therapy, alternatives include intravenous alimentation or immunosuppressive antimetabolite therapy with azathioprine or 6-mercaptopurine. Prognosis. When EC presents in the first year of life, the prognosis is good, with the vast majority of patients being able to tolerate the culprit food, by 1 to 3 years of age. The prognosis for EC that develops later in life is more guarded than the infantile subtype. Similar to eosinophilic gastroenteritis, the natural history has not been documented, and this disease is considered to be a chronic waxing and waning disorder. Because EC can often be a manifestation of other primary disease processes, routine clinical surveillance of the cardiopulmonary systems is important and periodic upper and lower GI endoscopy may be warranted. Resources. The recent mini-epidemic of EoE has led to the establishment of patient-founded support/advocacy groups such as the American Partnership for Eosinophilic Disorders, http://www.apfed.org, and the Campaign Urging Research for Eosinophilic Disease, Cured, http://www.curedfoundation.org. In addition, the recent formation of the SIGUR, http://www.raredieseasnetwork.org/cms/cegir right (, which is part of the Rare Diseases Clinical Research Network of the National Institutes of Health, will allow a better understanding and treatment of EGID. 219 While much progress has been made concerning GI eosinophils and EGIDs, there is still a paucity of knowledge compared with other cell types and GI diseases that may be even less common. It is anticipated that a better understanding of the pathogenesis and treatment of EGIDs will emerge by combining comprehensive clinical and research approaches involving experts in the fields of allergy, gastroenterology, nutrition, and pathology.